Why is it that nobody comes, let alone sings, in the part of the service that's called verses of song? Why am I personally missing Pesukei Dezmara all the time, even though I love singing? The problem, as I see it, is not that we are coming to shul late. It's that we are actually missing the opportunity to let the music do its work in our souls. The beginning of davening in the morning includes many verses of song, and it's literally called the verses of song, Pesukei Dezmara. It consists of many beautiful psalms that are supposed to be sung one after the other to spiritually prepare us for the heavy-hitting prayers which come later. So, if that's the case, why do we avoid Pesukei Dezmara? Singing psalms before saying the Shema is like shucking the husks from the corn before eating it. And you can try to eat the corn with the husks on, but it's a lot less effective, so to speak. When we offer our prayers without having sung first, we basically miss all the preparation, and then our prayers remain encased in their husky containers. Now, personally, I haven't been to Pesukei Dezmara myself for longer than I really want to admit, which makes it hard to write the script for this video and not feel completely hypocritical. But, as an example, one time I remember I was in Detroit with my son in the summer of 2014. It was 9:15 a.m. And up on the distant bima, there was Jerry Adlerstein, who was leading the Pesukei Dezmara in front of a whole empty congregation. And at Psalm 136, when everybody's supposed to rise, he turns around and with a dramatic gesture says, "Will the congregation please rise?" And there was still nobody in the room except for me and my son Lev. And, well, we were already standing. This is kind of a classic example of Pesukei Dezmara in America. Nobody's there, and there's very little singing even if they are there. So why is it that nobody comes, let alone sings, in the part of the service that's called verses of song? Why am I personally missing Pesukei Dezmara all the time, even though I love singing? The problem, as I see it, is not that we are coming to shul late. It's that we are actually missing the opportunity to let the music do its work in our souls. It's not just about getting 20 minutes more sleep. We're actually not realizing how profoundly necessary singing is to the fullness of prayer which follows. Here's why. Our modern world is intensely noisy, and our brains are constantly filled with nonsense that overwhelms us. There's the noisiness of the news cycle, the swamp of social media, the anxieties of making a living or of jumping through the hoops of a complicated society. There's the doom-filled prognosis for the future, including concerns about what's next in a world which feels constantly on the edge of destruction. Not to mention all of our normal interior anxieties of basic life, trying to find love or stay married or raise children or complete our homework or make life decisions, achieve satisfaction, do mitzvot, be a mensch. Oi! It's a lot. And it's easy to overlook our souls, to forget how much we have to offer the world when we can't even hear our own essential inner voices or understand our own unique callings. We become stuck in a continuous psychological passivity, a cloudiness that covers us and prevents us from accessing our own wellsprings of spirit and soul. When we sing, however, a crack appears in our crusty brain chatter, and some of the psychological noise can separate, and our ears can open up, and we can feel and hear the beauty of what's around us, and feel even more deeply connected with our own unique souls. Singing essentially teaches us how to listen. And that's why we have Pesukei Dezmara. We need to really sing these songs before getting to the famous Shema prayer. The Shema means, listen, you Jews, listen to the oneness of all. In order to listen, we have to first open our ears with singing. These verses of song are supposed to not just be verses that were once sung, but songs that are actually sung today. After opening our eyes in the morning and feeling our feet on the ground, Pesukei Dezimra helps us to climb the ladder of prayer so that we're ready for the Shema when it arrives, so that we're ready to listen when we're asked to listen. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to the channel below. It really helps us to spread these ideas, and also visit songisprayer.com for so much more. In the Jewish mystical tradition of Kabbalah, it's taught that there is a divine light that we have a hard time seeing because it's obstructed by husks called klipot. And when we are able to cut away the husks, we begin to more fully encounter the radiance and the aura of the divine light. Imagine shucking husks from a cob of corn, which allows us to encounter the sustenance within. A brilliant early Hasidic teacher named Ze'ev of Zhitomir addressed this very issue in the late 1700s. He taught, "Look, we say Pesukei Dezimra, the verses of song. Why are they called verses of song, of Zimra? Since they pare away the husks. They prune away mizamrim, the husks." Now, Ze'ev here is sharing that the root of the word zemer, zayin, mem, resh, means both to sing and also to prune or to cut away. Ze'ev continues, I think really hilariously, he says, "But look, who has ever seen husks left about on the floor of a synagogue? Rather, it really means to pare away the husks from one's heart and one's soul." So you can see he's bringing this teaching into our own psychological realm. How do we remove the husks from around our inner beings so that we can truly encounter ourselves? He explains, and we continue in this through all the hymns and songs, the Zmirot. We pare away the husks of negative qualities we feel within us, and after, we are ready to pray, implying connection, uniting one's inner thoughts to the loftiness of one's divinity. And when the recitation of the Shema arrives, then a complete unity with the Holy Blessed One is made. The singing cuts away the nonsense from around our inner beings so that we can learn to hear the divine unity of all. It's singing that allows us to re-engage with the integrated oneness of all life. So then, why do we keep skipping Pesukei Dezimra, either by not showing up or through lack of singing? Well, for some it's because of sleeping later, or for some it's because we can only tolerate a certain amount of shul. By skipping past the singing, we are collectively avoiding the hard work of removing those very husks from our souls. And this spares us from having to see both the ugliness and, unfortunately, also the beauty that we might find within ourselves. And those are the very qualities that inspire our deepest inner prayers. And we're a little nervous to encounter them. In one way or another, we're all having the problem of scraping off the crud from our psyches, and we're avoiding the work that needs to be done to access our own true inner expressions, which we call prayer. It takes work to shuck the corn, but if we don't do it, we can't eat in a way that's really satisfying. So what if we really did sing fully and beautifully in Pesukei Dezimra? Could it increase the focus and depth of our prayers in the rest of davening? Next time we go to shul, let's get there early enough for Pesukei Dezimra and find out. And remember, this is the work of cutting away the husks so that we can encounter the divine light within. If you're enjoying this, consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. It helps us spread these ideas in the world. And for even more connection, check out songisprayer.com to join our email list and to explore in-depth resources in Jewish spiritual music. The link is down below. See you next time.
la la